This is how hot our fall was the last time we had this strong of an El Nino. That does not mean this fall is going to be this hot though. And here's what the precipitation anomalies look like in 2015. Some good rainfall for portions of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and the Carolinas, but overall a pretty average fall. I'm going to give you my fall forecast right now. Let's apply this analog though to the maps, and there you go. We're on Forecast Foundry HQ, where you can make your own outlooks using climate drivers and teleconnections. It was a strong El Nino in 2015, westerly QBO, decent amount of influence, and we had a 2 out of 5 influence, positive PDO. It looks like we should have gotten more precipitation that year, but we didn't. Let's put together my outlook. First, we're starting with an El Nino, of course. This is going to be a strong El Nino. Let's move that influence all the way over. What does that do? Well, a little hotter up north. If this was winter, right? If I went up here and I put winter, you'd see a lot more influence. You typically see more influence from our teleconnections, from our Enzo once you get into winter, but you do see some influence in fall. So we're going to go back to fall. We do have a descending westerly QBO. So we're going to go westerly QBO here, but we're only going to give it about a 2 out of 5 influence. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 actually. Doesn't have much effect, but it is clearly descending, and I do think it will play a part in this fall. We can click the data tab right here, and we can see our 30 millibar is westerly and our 50 millibar is easterly, but this is westerly descending. Let's move down to PDO. The PDO is negative, but a strengthening El Nino could weaken this. I would like to give it more influence than I'm gonna, but with the strengthening El Nino, we're gonna go and we are going to do a 3 out of 5 negative PDO. Now, you're not seeing much change on the map right now, but I promise there will be some change. And again, if this was winter, you would see a lot of change. Here's our precipitation anomalies right now. Here's our temperature anomalies. NPO is a weird one. It's slightly positive. It could change. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 influence. I do believe more of a positive PNA is favored as an average through an El Nino. We're going to go positive PNA here. We're going to go 3 out of 5. And as you can see, positive PNA, more influence. Warmer in the west, cooler in the east, especially the southeast. Negative PNA, you get those cooler conditions if you have influence. Out west, warmer in the southeast and east, but we're going to go with the positive PNA. We're going to go with the 3 out of 5. EPO is another tough one. We're going to go with the 2 out of 5 EPO. Could change. That's where I'm sitting for now. That's our Eastern Pacific oscillation, so we're watching that pressure difference right off the west coast. We're going to go with the positive Western Pacific oscillation. I think there's a slight chance of an enhanced Pacific jet. We're just going to put it at a 1 out of 5 influence. Now, AO. This is our Arctic oscillation. When you hear polar vortex, this is our polar vortex. If you ever hear that term, that's our Arctic oscillation. When you have a very negative AO, you have a big polar vortex break. So you can see if I go negative AO and I push it all the way up, you're actually not seeing much of a change in fall. Which, by the way, we had, I believe, our earliest major polar vortex breakdown last year. When was it? It was like late September. It was like October or something. I can't remember. So I do think this should have a little bit more influence on what we're seeing. I'm going to do a positive AO just because La Nina years, I think, can definitely puncture our polar jet a little bit more, make it a little bit more unstable. In an El Nino, and especially with a westerly QBO, I think that polar vortex can stay a little bit stronger, a little bit more stable. I'd say a positive NAO is more favored during an El Nino, especially over fall. Can it change? Yes, you can get some really significant negative NAOs. This is our North Atlantic oscillation. This is going to be great to use over fall. You can pull it up. You can take a look at the current phase and the forecast. And you can see right now we do have some blocking up there over Greenland. So we are in a negative NAO, and it is a strengthening negative NAO a little bit. But overall, we're going to put that as a positive NAO. Now, MJO is weird. This can be weekly, daily. Listen, we're favoring a phase 7 to mainly phase 8 to kick off fall. We're going to go with phase 8. You can see with the forecast, GEFS and European extend it. So let's just go with phase 8 September, and we'll put a 2 out of 5 influence on that. Okay, so here we are. There's temperature, there's precipitation. Pretty average up north, pretty wet down south, pretty warm out west and up north, but the southeast could have a cooler fall. Taking a look at my top analogs, 2015 fall. There you go. But my second analog, look at that, the 1982 fall. This is based off my climate driver selectors and influence, my teleconnection setup. It was cold everywhere that fall. 1969, guess what? A very cold one as well. So you're saying there's a chance it could be cold this fall. You never know. A lot of these were cooler. Let's look at the 1959. A lot of these were cooler. And these were driven by El Ninos, and a lot of them had really cool signals up north. Very interesting. I still like my map. I like where we're sitting at. Let's blend it. There you go. There's temperature. There's precipitation. Explain the driver's analog's uncertainty and what you could change in the forecast. All right, so what I said was a strong El Nino and westerly QBO could keep our cool northern air at bay through much of the fall, leading to extended warmth. I'm still liking my forecast, though. Now we're going to save this and post it to my profile on Forecast Foundry HQ. Connor's Climate Corner Fall Outlook. Let's save it. We can download a full map PNG, so I'll have that on my computer. I can post it online, and I'm going to publish this to the community. There we go. Now we can come over here and let's take a look. I'm going to go to my profile. Here we go. I'm on my profile. We can go right down here. Connor's Climate Corner Fall Outlook. Open the full post. You can see all of my climate drivers. You can rate it. Obviously, I'm giving it 5 stars. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget you can make your own outlooks, forecasts. You can go into the weather time machine and forecast yourself through any of these real events like the Moore, Oklahoma high risk, the 2011 super outbreak. You get to see what meteorologists were seeing that morning. What was the upper air pattern? What was the shear, CAPE, SIGTOR params, surface observations? And then you go down and you draw your map. You draw your tornado map. You draw your wind map. You draw your hail map. You put your SIG. You click all the way through. You can again compare it to what was going on that day. And you create the forecast and then you see how you do compared to what actually happened that day and the real SPC outlook. Now, obviously, this is an example. I drew it in the wrong spot, and I'm probably going to get a really bad score, 33 out of 100. But you can play any of these real scenarios in here. Midwest derecho, Western Kentucky nighttime outbreak, Greenfield tornado, El Reno, Vivian giant hail supercell. You can go into study mode, see what was happening at 7 a.m., 11:30, 1:30. Really awesome way to test your forecasting skills and test it against other people. You can also post your results on your profile. And don't forget, you can sign up for the WeatherFront extension. Awesome tropical tools, over 100 cameras around the country that you can access. You can talk directly to WeatherFront. You could say, take me to observations, take me to the Euro model, take me to the convective outlook. Tons of really awesome things. You can sign up for the beta on Forecast Foundry HQ. I appreciate you guys watching. I do have a winter outlook coming up, so look out for that. And I will be live streaming a lot more, doing some severe weather coverage this fall. And I'm really excited to begin forecasting this winter as well. See you guys.